Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your July 2020 mid-month general reading. We are looking at the last 2 weeks of July, the last half. Welcome everyone. I hope that you are safe and well as I always do. Staying reasonably grounded. I mean, as much as possible on a day-to-day basis because everything continues to fluctuate, including our moods and how we feel and how we look at things in this really, crazy year. So I hope everyone's doing well. Thanks for taking the time to tune in today, and thanks for all of your support, everything you have done, continue to do in support of this channel. Your likes, your shares, your subscribes, your donations, all important and all appreciated. Thank you so much. Even if it's just taking the time to, watch the video, like it, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Love my subscribers. So this reading is for the water sign of Cancer. I almost said a fire sign for some reason. It's for the water sign of Cancer, our lovely crabs, our Cancerians, for the last half of July. So that's Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, Cancer Rising, if your Venus is in Cancer, if you're cross-watching for a Cancerian. General readings, of course, resonate a little differently for everyone. So if you know all of your signs, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, watch them all because each one can bring in, little bits of information and clarity that will give you kind of a more clear perspective on what's going on in your life. If any of the videos do resonate with you and you'd like to take a deeper look at something, reach out for a personal reading or information, you can click on the description link below, click on that little arrow that pulls down info. You'll see some contact details, my email address, Maggie_McGuire@gmail.com. You can email me. I'd be delighted to hear from you and to work with you. I can usually respond within the first 24 hours. And scheduling is done in as timely a fashion as possible. I do readings full time. It's all that I do, so I'm pretty diligent about scheduling. All right, let's move right into this. Cancer. Let's see what's going on with you for the last half of July 2020. For those of you who need to know, want to know, I'm using Legacy of the Divine Tarot and clarifying if we need to with the Gilded Tarot Royale. So, Cancer, last half of July. Okay. We have the Ace of Swords, followed by the Three of Cups. Death, endings, transformations, and the Two of Coins. From the bottom of the deck, we have the King of Coins, also known as Pentacles in other decks. So from the bottom of the deck, that represents overall energy and focus, might be an earth sign. We'll clarify. So some new perspective or news or information has come in to give you a clarity on something or present the truth or have something be illuminated, clarified, revealed, which is what the Ace of Swords is. Swords is air energy. That's its element, its governing element, which governs our head, belief systems, ideologies, words, communication, how we think, and how that affects everything that we do. Aces represent the number one, so it's a start, a new path, a new beginning, or the opportunity. So what the Ace of Swords does is it comes in and it cuts away all extraneous fantasy and illusion, and through emotion as well. And it exposes, illuminates, clarifies something for its absolute truth and reality. So it reveals something to be exactly what it is. And it can be a card that represents success too. It can sometimes be challenging because the Ace of Swords comes in and it cuts all the extraneous and emotional and all of that other stuff away. It says, look, this is what this really is. Excuse me. So, like, it could be the light bulb going off on your head, the epiphany, the seeing that thing, or having the truth of something be absolutely revealed. So in that time, in that energy, it gives you the opportunity to make decisions and choices that can create a better, more healthier, more manifestable reality for yourself. So it's kind of the light bulb going off. Uh, and what accompanies and clarifies it is the Three of Cups, which is kind of the party card. So high social energy to this card. It represents being out, socializing, having a good time with people that you feel really connected with, best friends, kindred spirits, soulmates, really good people, people that you get, that they get you. It can represent socializing and having a good time, um, depending on how possible that is in where you live in this day and age and how safe it is. It could be a group of friends that have brought this. It could be that you're having a different perspective on your tribe or your social circle. Maybe you've because there's some decisions here. There's some decision making energy here. We have death clarified by the Two of Coins next to that, which implies, underlying death, which is major endings or transformation, complete and utter transformations, is the Two of Coins, which is a card. Twos can represent duality, crossroads, needing to make a decision. You're juggling a couple of different things. It's requiring all of your focus to do this, but at some point you're going to have to make a decision. You can't do this forever. Um, so endings, transformations. It feels like something has come in, some new perspective, some new epiphany you've had, some new information, um, and maybe about some endings, possible endings, and what do I do about this, or should I bring something to an end? I mean, honestly, some of you it might be related to, the global pandemic we're all kind of struggling through. It could be that, I mean, the Three of Cups here can represent being out and socializing and perhaps not being wise or safe and social distancing and adhering to, the proper protocols and that sort of thing. And, in which case, death could maybe quite literally, although we rarely ever look at it that way or try not to unless it's something that we really do need to address. It could literally represent death. And decisions around that, meaning that it could be, for some of you, this might be because it's a very real issue in the world today. It might be that you're all of a sudden, maybe suddenly having kind of a different outlook on this whole, being out in social gatherings and partying and not being safe and social distancing. And, maybe there was some, maybe you're hearing about people close to you who are getting infected or passing away or ending up in the hospital and stuff like that, and all of a sudden it's kind of waking you up and giving you kind of a different perspective on this whole situation, and seeing it in a pretty clear and serious light that you didn't before. And so you're in the process of making different decisions because of that. The King of Coins, and I don't feel like this is you or your energy. I feel like this is an actual person that's significant to you. And significant meaning it could be a person. And it's the King of Coins, which is the King of Earth. Coins is also known as Pentacles in other decks. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy, Sun, Moon, or Rising. It's showing up as a king, as male, but it could be a female too. Somebody who's very grounded, responsible, dependable, reliable, sincere, maybe sometimes a little stubborn, likes good things, likes the comfortable things, because he's worked hard to get those things, right? Now, this is a person that could be significant to you. It might be somebody who's fallen ill or who's passed away. It could be somebody that you knew personally or somebody that you knew of, or it could be somebody that is personally bringing you this kind of sort of epiphany and clarity, or it might be the situation around him, that you're having some kind of different perspective and take on it because of this person is having an impact on you during the last half of July, Cancer. Whether it's them personally to you or whether it's because of something going on with them that you're hearing about or something like that. I think for some of you it might be, related to what's going on in the world today, sickness and infection and social distancing and not gathering together and the big social things and hearing, these horror stories, maybe taking it lightly, but then hearing all of these things and maybe having it personally impact you, and now you're kind of changing your outlook. It can be that too, and maybe making different decisions for some of you. Let's clarify some of this. Clarify the King of Coins. I'm going to use the Gilded Tarot Royale to clarify King of Coins. I feel like it's actually a specific person. So the Two of Cups, the soulmate kindred spirit card. So for some of you, this is obviously somebody that you have a very strong connection with, whether it's, you know, husband, boyfriend, I'm sorry, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, or just best friends, kindred spirits, you know, soul sister, soul brother kind of energy, somebody that you, you know, are very connected to or have been very connected to. There's that karmic connection. So it's about that person. So let's take it out of the kind of sickness, death, pandemic sort of energy, because I'm feeling that's somebody's story out there, which is why I've been talking about it. So for others of you, the Two of Cups, the Two of Cups, I'm not laughing at you. I mean, I am, but not in a malicious or vindictive way. So the Two of Cups can represent, yeah, I'm getting this for some of you, can represent, you know, really good friends, really close friends, best friends, that somehow, for some reason, divine timing and orchestration, begin to maybe evolve into something else, something more romantic, something more sensual, more sexual, more romantic love related, right? So for some of you, that might be what's coming up. Maybe you guys went out or went to a party safely, hopefully, you know, or your friends. I mean, there's friendship here, and you've obviously had a lot of, you really enjoy, I mean, the Three of Cups is really enjoying the time you spend with this person. But there's an epiphany here. So, you know, which represents the ending of something, because we can't, once this Ace of Swords comes in, we can turn away from it, but we can't, you know, we can turn away from it and say, no, I didn't know that, but it's there, and it's not going to go away. You can't unsee things, you can't unknow things. You can try and shove them away and ignore them, but they're there, and once they come in, once this epiphany comes in, you can't unknow it, right? Which does, because death is sitting right next to the Ace of Swords, which does bring about an ending of something, which gives the possibility of rebirth of something else, because birth follows death, beginnings follow endings. In every ending, there is the seed of whatever is going to begin or flower later. So it could be that what's happened, and therefore you have a choice. It could be that what's happened, Cancer, I don't know, for some reason I keep wanting to say Sagittarius. What's happened maybe is this great friendship, karmic sort of thing. Maybe there was always an undercurrent of, you know, something else, but you ignored it. Maybe it's come full front, you know, something's happened, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, I feel more than just this for you, and maybe they feel more than just that for you, and it's like you can't go back to the way it was entirely. So that puts you in a decision-making kind of mode. And when I was clarifying, at the bottom of the deck is a Tower, this unexpected sort of event that comes in. I mean, maybe the Lover's right behind that. So there's a decision that needs to be made. The Lovers can represent sometimes, not always, a three-party situation, and a choice, of course, that needs to be made in that three-party situation. So, you know, which could make this even stickier. I mean, it could be that, you know, you're involved with somebody, or they're involved with somebody, or maybe you're both involved with someone, but you've been these good, great friends, and all of a sudden there's something else has come up that you can't deny or ignore anymore, and so what do? Something unexpected happened, maybe at a party or get together or something, and so, right, so let's clarify the Ace of Swords, because I'm curious. The Work card just popped out, just letting you know, the Eight of Pentacles, so that might mean something to somebody. Maybe it was something that happened at work, or maybe this is somebody you work with that you really enjoy being around. Clarify the Ace of Swords. Queen of Swords, the High Priestess, the Eight of Swords. I'm going to show these to you. The Ten of Swords. Wow. Okay. So we're clarifying what is this epiphany? So the Queen of Swords, she's the queen of epiphanies because she's the queen of insight, wisdom, truth, illumination, even if it hurts. I mean, this is somebody who's had some pretty difficult experiences in her life, and because of that, she has a wealth of experience and knowledge in being able to cut directly to the heart of a matter and see the truth of something. She's very good at it because she's evolved, matured beyond the page energy, the night energy, and she's a queen now, and that sword cuts right through everything. She's very direct. The High Priestess, also trusting your intuition and your knowledge. Whatever's come in, you're seeing it clearly. However, we have, which is probably why death has shown up for those of you for whom this is a relationship, like love, romance thing. We have the Eight of Swords and the Ten of Swords. This could be work too, because the work card did pop out. That might be that for some of you. But you feel trapped. The Eight of Swords is a card that represents feeling like you can't change something. You can't free yourself from something. You can't change something. You can't free yourself from something. But it is somewhat illusionary. Meaning, while the source of whatever you say is trapping you or that you can't remove yourself from or leave or whatever, whether it's another relationship or the job or work or something, you could. It might cost you, but every decision and choice comes at a cost, right? The swords, which are hemming her in, actually, I mean, she could walk right through them, right? And they represent, swords as air energy, so maybe one ideology, one overriding excuse or reason, I can't because fill in the blank. Or it might be a bunch of different ideas. But she could actually free herself from them by walking through them in a way. Yes, it would come at a cost, but everything does. She's on her knees, implies, vulnerability, a victim. But nobody's shoved her down there and nobody's holding her there. There's chains wrapped around her wrist, but they're not connected to anything or anyone. She could free herself, stand up on her own 2 feet, rip that blindfold off and say, oh, I can see, I can just leave. Yeah, it'll cost, but I can if I choose to. So the idea of feeling trapped, this is kind of like your fears or whatever it is you have attached yourself to, kind of hijacking your mind. This is a card of saying, I can't because of this, and I can't because of that, and I can't because of, well, you can. You can, it's your decision and choice. It might be difficult, it might be tough, but you could. Doesn't mean you should. I'm just saying this is a card that represents feeling trapped. Why? We have the Ten of Swords, which is a card of betrayal. Feeling stabbed in the back, thrown under the bus. This might be, I don't know, it might be a three-party situation for some of you. And you're like, I'm already involved, or you're already involved, or we're already involved. And now this thing, is between us, and maybe we can't deny that, but to bring like this relationship or that relationship to an end would represent, betrayal, and I'm married, or I'm, whatever, or I'm already in this situation. I mean, you could, it could be work, company, business, job. Maybe this great job or your best friend saying, hey, there's nobody at my company, and yeah, but I'm already here and I can't, I don't know if and I'm responsible for, and I'm, all of these different things that we tell ourselves that we can't do something because, and they might be valid and maybe you should stay. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be different for everybody. It's a general reading. But, the Queen of Swords and the High Priestess, for this epiphany, this clarity that's come in, implies strongly, Cancer. I hope I haven't said Sagittarian for some reason, and I did Sagittarius 3 readings ago. I don't know why. Maybe there's a Sagittarian tied up in here somewhere. So Cancer, the Queen of Swords and the High Priestess implies that this clarity, this epiphany, this light bulb going off over your head, and your intuitive sense, the High Priestess, gut instinct, higher self, whatever you want to call it, implies that you know what's possible and what's not possible. And the High Priestess is a strong indication or implication that you already know what you need to do here in terms of decision-making ability. But there's a strong attachment here, which may be at the source of, maybe you feel like making a decision to do something is going to make somebody that you care about and feel very karmically connected to feel very hurt or betrayed if you do it, regardless of whether this is romance or work or, I mean, it could be a variety of different things in a general reading. But it feels like somebody feels like, whether it's you or the other person, or the two of you together, if you make some kind of this decision to go down path A versus path B, that you're going to cause pain and hurt and betrayal, or they will. Which in love and romance would probably be a 3-party situation, if not a 4-party situation. But in work, it could mean something very similar as well. You feel like you're already obligated, and you're kind of tied to that. So let's end by pulling some advice and guidance. What is the best way for Cancer to navigate through this energy for the last half of July, or any action steps or what they need to focus on to kind of get through this time period? It feels not horrible, but challenging. It feels like you feel pulled in 2 different directions. Or someone here feels pulled in 2 different directions. I mean, that Ace of Swords coming in, you know, we're in another retrograde, so maybe something from the past has popped up and you're like, whoa. The Emperor. You know what? Occasionally I get the distinct impression I haven't shuffled long enough, and this is one of them. I don't. What should Cancer focus on? Okay. We have the Devil, we have the 2 of Pentacles, and we have Strength. Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. My goodness, we have that Tower again, and the 2 of Cups again. So definitely, I think that Tower is directly linked to this Ace of Swords. Like, what comes in, whatever's happened, this big event or game changer has come in, and like, it's like sudden blinding clarity. And again, here's this karmic connection, relationship. So what to focus on? The Devil, another 2, the 2 of Pentacles, which is the same as the 2 of Coins here. So we have repeating cards here. The decision needs to be made. It really does. So what do you, I mean, we have the Devil here. This is a card of imbalance, profound imbalance. It can represent lots of things. Addictions, drugs, alcohol, gambling, sex, working, shopping. Toxic negative relationships, or there's obsession, compulsion, toxic energy, neediness, power and control. It can represent mental health illnesses. Fundamentally, what it represents is the imbalance, the scales being out of whack, temptations, vices, meaning the thing that we keep returning to, or the thing that we're kind of chained to. You know, remember we got that 8 of Swords. That while the thing itself may not be bad, we do it to excess, which becomes unhealthy and harmful for us. So it's too much of something. It's an excess of something that's not good for us. So you need to take a look at what that is. And Strength is about facing that. It takes strength, courage, wisdom, and the true definition of humility to look at those fears, to walk into those fears and deal with them. Some of them will turn out to be nothing more than dust bunnies under the bed. Some of them may actually be issues that need to have specific work done on them, so that you can get through them and on the other side and carry all those lessons with you, and with a wider understanding and acceptance of self-love and your own self-value. Strength is about facing your fears, your doubts, your insecurities, not ignoring them, walking into them and going, okay, this is what I need to do, this is what I'm afraid of, and this is, and walking through that, you actually gain more strength and wisdom and insight. You're a better, stronger person on the other side of this, and you have a stronger sense of self-confidence and self-value and worth too. You tame those, you accept what you can't change, and you work on the things that you can. You tame those things, as symbolized by the lion here, and movement in focus with your head held up high. It takes a lot of strength to do that, and that's what you gain more of. At the very, very fundamentally most simplistic level here, with strength and the devil particularly in making this decision, Cancer, do not allow your fear of letting go of whatever that unhealthy attachment is be the thing that stops you from moving forward and making progress. And I feel like something has happened. It might be a big something with a big epiphany, or it might be just one more of the same things for the millionth time that's given you that epiphany. But I think it feels like there's the Ace of Swords has come in and you're like, whoa, I still feel chained. That Eight of Swords and the Devil, I feel like I'm chained to this thing, this person, this job, this whatever. But you can't let that stop you. I mean, you can't. Free will, free agency, as I always say. I vote no. I vote for saying, here, kitty, kitty. Here are my fears, doubts, insecurities. Come here. Let's put the leash on. Let's go this way. We can't help having the fears and doubts and insecurities and struggles that we have. But we can make them the beast that we tame. We can make them the horse that we ride versus the other way around, where we're the thing that they're riding, right? We don't want to do that. We want to reverse that. So that's what your advice is all about, Cancer. Okay. Let's stop now before it gets a little too preachy. But that's what's coming out. So Cancer, this is your reading for the last half of July. I hope that you enjoyed it. I mean, it's not a bad reading. It's a bit challenging, but that's life sometimes. So I hope you found it helpful and useful. If this resonated with you, if any of the videos do, and you want to take a deeper look at something, reach out for a personal reading or information about that, just click on the description link below. Click on that little arrow that pulls down information. You'll see my email address there, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I'd be most happy to work with you. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the August 2020 general readings. And until then, Cancer, as always, please stay safe and well and as balanced as you can on a day-to-day basis. And I hope to see you again here soon. Take care. Bye-bye.